mainly because I was talking with therapists at the time. I shouldn't do that. They were proper therapists. But they told me to take my emotions and put them into some kind of craft, some kind of art. They didn't say music or painting or whatever. They just said something. And I've always been in like playing piano and making music in that sense. So I just started doing that. Whatever I felt like, put it there, put it away, and I still do that today. So that part haven't changed. The only thing that have changed is more the knowledge in mixing and mastering, getting everything together.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Metaverse Degen. I'm Lion.
I'm Old Man Raptor, and our guest is.
I'm XCirrex. Hello.
Oh, thank you very much for joining us, XCirrex. It's an absolute pleasure to have
We
you on.
appreciate you being here. Yes, it is.
I'm enjoying it.
So, what is it you do here in the virtual
You
world?
are joining. You just got started. I'm confused.
I'm
Somebody tell me something
enjoying
I
the
don't
company.
know. Oh, the
I'm always
company. Oh,
enjoying the
okay. My
company.
bad. Man, my bad. Okay.
So, what is it you do here in the virtual world, and how did you get started?
Wow, I think it's easier to go where I started. I started just making worlds because I realized that I had this expensive headset on my face, and I might as well do something with it. And Vrchat just happened to be a perfect place for it because you can upload things and then have people see it, directly in their own avatars. And what we're in right now is the first world I made, gone through a few iterations, but it started here just with a little bit of a balcony basically, and then it expanded over the years. From there, I started making games, Laser Weird Loss, Abbey Wars, and a few musical concerts as well.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm in it for the journey, man. It's awesome to just create in here.
So, what? Well, we've heard a few people talk about your the laser dome. How did that all get started? How did it go in the beginning?
Laserdome, that project, I started working on it right as the pandemic happened because, we all got locked up in our homes. In my case, since I live in Sweden, that was voluntarily because we didn't really have a lockdown here. But I didn't want the virus, so I stayed at home. And Udon dropped, Udon for Vrchat, the building coding software. So I started coding, and I had fond memories of going to laser tag as a kid. Laserdome is basically just based on my childhood memories, and then people started liking it, and now I'm working on the second Laserdome, you could call it.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's still going.
Oh, we were talking with Chris Connie in the beginning. He said when Laserdome first launched that you got filled for the slots when you started doing tournaments.
Yeah, the tournaments in the beginning were pretty filled up. They still are. We're having one tomorrow as of this recording. So we've been doing that. I think we're up to 28 tournaments now, and we've basically been doing one every second month, or sometimes every month in the beginning, I guess. But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
I'm sure. Did you expect the reception it got when you first launched Laserdome?
I didn't expect anything. Based on the playtests we did in the beginning, we all who were playing, including me, just felt like this is pretty fun. Even though we have the ping and playing on different continents, it's fun to just run around in here and have fun with each other, right? And then I think one of the VRC devs visited the world pre-launch and posted a video about it on Twitter without me knowing. And they were like, "Oh, they should release this right now because it's so much fun." And I was like, in my head, like 80-70% done, So I kept it to myself for a little bit longer to just add the little bit of extra things before I wanted to go live with it. So my expectation got a little bit inflated after that moment, of course, and I put a little bit of extra effort into it, which I'm very happy I did.
And you mentioned you're making a sequel to Laserdome. What is it? You got some plans for the sequel?
I've always wanted to make a sequel for Laserdome, and technically this is the fourth version, since we had the first Laserdome, the one that went live so many years ago now, and then I made a outdoor version based on this world, and then a third indoor version with this one and the OG map together, which is the one that's live now under just one roof.
Hmm.
But they all have the same one shot, one kill, system in it, and it's not really taken into all of the janky and characteristics that VRChat gives us in here with the ping and all that. So in the second Laserdome now, I'm thinking of way to break the meta, give you more opportunities to play in your playstyle, and also work around the long ping and try to implement that a little bit better. So everything will be very much procedurally generated as well. The whole map will always be different. It's pretty interesting right now.
Oh wow. How would the procedural generation work in terms of like gameplay?
So if you ever played the Avi Wars game I did, it's based on worms, right? So 2D worms, you get a map. So I managed to get that to work on a 2D space like that. Took that kind of same process, but turn it on its side. So now it's a floor instead. And then I just make building blocks that can rotate around with walls and go in different heights. So yeah, different biomes kind of spawn in. And it just creates a maze that is always different.
Oh, that sounds really exciting. I'm not gonna lie. I remember, I think I was first introduced to Laserdome through Hexen, like I think early 2021.
Oh yeah,
a long time ago.
Hexen is a legend. He's always been with us.
Oh, really? Oh, so you mentioned earlier that you're gonna allow people to play in their own play style. How would that work, may I ask?
So in current Laserdome, there is one way it feels like that is the best way to play, and when you find that way, you solve the game and you become really good at it. And it's very hard for a new player to get into the game in that stage. So in here, since you have so many options on how quick you want to fire, how far away you want to be, if you want to jump up on a building block or whatever, there's always something you can trick other people with. Because first one is like people don't know the map anymore. When Laserdome was released, the first week or so, people were lost in there. And my intention was always to try to make the player feel lost, not knowing where they are, not knowing what's behind this corner. So with the whole procedurally generated thing, everyone will be looking a little bit more. They don't know where the hotspots is anymore because there are none. So more playstyles will have to develop out of that alone to like be a little bit more careful, slow down a little bit, and also a lot new game modes that could be interesting as well.
Oh, so it would level the playing field, one would say, from those who've been playing for a while to those who are new.
Yes, that's my intention. The main way to do that is that now it makes a lot more sense to move as a group, as a team. In current Laserdome, it's always you split as a team and you just attack from all the different sides. Now you have a higher chance of winning if you are together with your team. And then when one die, they get sent off and they have to find their way back. And yeah, it's a new player can definitely have a lot more fun when they're in the team of old players, people who know how to play, because they can always be part of the battle without, getting instantly sent out of it.
That actually sounds like a really awesome thing you're doing for this second iteration. At least I think it should hopefully allow a lot more people to be involved. Now, will the tournaments change in the second iteration, or will they all be the same kind of structure?
It probably will have the same structure. I've learned a lot when doing the tournaments in Avi Wars. Avi Wars has been like a big experimental project for me to try to solve all the things before I try to go on the same things in Laserdome, to know what works and what doesn't work in terms of like starting the game even, because I'm awful at making a main menu. So that's the first part, like that I had to solve somewhere else before I tackle it properly. But we learned a lot, like both in casting, being able to listen into the teams to hear what they are saying during the battles. That's definitely something I'm going to try to implement, like having a little bit of a radio system in there or whatever. So things like that, just to make it fun for everyone involved, and if you're just spectating as well, be more part of the battle that is happening.
So you said a second ago that Avi Wars was an experiment for Laserdome. How did Avi Wars come to be? What led to the creation of that?
I just wanted worms in VR, man. I wanted to make a.
I think you're muted, bud.
He talking? The disconnecting situation where the code went burr.
Oh.
It's actually worse than that. Sorry, this is the Quest Pro microphone. It sounds awful. Cut this part or not. We'll keep it in. I just need to change batteries on my
Don't jump, it's not
microphone.
Oh.
Where are my batteries? There they are. Perfect.
Oh.
In your sock drawer.
This is the magic of the Quest Pro. You can't use the built-in microphone because it's awful. So I have this little stage microphone that I'm carrying around with me instead. So much for being wireless,
Well, the mic sounds really good, by the way. The one you're using right now.
The other one, I hope.
Whoa. Hi, folks. You folks come and join us on our social and on our Discord. We love to see you there. We have a Patreon, and we have 2 people that have signed on, Training Fangs and Zero. And I hope we get to see you there, folks. We appreciate the time and effort that you make. And my ball's getting out of here because it needs new rubber. Bye.
This one?
Yes.
Well,
both
of them.
This is garbage.
Well, they both sound good, although I've always been using the index mic, so I'm.
Yeah, the index mic is amazing.
The index
compared
mic,
to
I think
this one.
The index mic has usually been a standard if I wanted to switch headsets or not. And so far, each headset I look into to switch to has always been the same. Not as good.
They always have that one thing that is unacceptable, right? There's always one thing that goes, nah, I'm not having that. I went for the Quest Pro because back to the good microphone. I went for the Quest Pro because I wanted face and eye tracking, and that's about it. The rest of it is just the Quest Mid. It's nothing pro about it. Everything is garbage. Let's continue. What was your question when I cut out?
What led to the creation of Worms, and how did that whole world get started? Since you mentioned it, It was a test world for Laserdome.
Yes. Got it. Avi Wars was... I made it because I wanted to make a destructible and generative map, which I somehow managed to pull off. I'm not sure how yet. I look back on that code sometimes and just... I pray that it never breaks and I have to fix something in there because it's mad. So that was the first thing. I wanted to have Worms in VR, and then also, a lot of challenges comes with that, obviously, physics, solving that. Every time I make something new, I always want to learn something new. So in Avi Wars, it was the physics part and the destruction of the map part that really intrigued me. And it worked out great, I think, yeah.
So it sounds like there was quite a lot of complications and learning learning events that happened during that whole map. What were some of those, and how did you get through them?
Oh yeah, just getting the projectiles, grenades, for example, to bounce and sync up with everyone and always explode on the on the same place was a nightmare to get working. Because I've never done it before. Everything I'd worked with before was just particle based, and now suddenly I have to use rigid bodies, and that's a completely different universe of how things works. And working with it in Udon doesn't make it less jank, to say the least.
I can only imagine. Now I'm going to ask a question because I'm a half-wit. What is a rigid body?
A rigid body is, let's say you have a ball, right? And you want it to be able to collide with things in the world and be affected by gravity. You want to be able to throw it. Then would have to have a rigid body component on it. That basically means this is something that can be moved in physics in the Unity engine, more or less.
Oh.
And then you can change it to have different bounciness or what do you call it? Friction on the ground, things like that. A lot goes into it.
Oh.
Oh God, no. No. You just found out how to do that. Now you're gonna have my hamster ball like that. No. No, 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 no. No.
So,
hamster balls, man.
Some context for his statement. His avatar, through a long-running joke with our friend group, keeps on getting stuff added. So the person who's working on his avatar is a friend of ours, Snuff. And her and I in the friend group will sit and talk all the time. Well, what if Raptor's about the size of a hamster? It'd be funny if he had a hamster ball. And then she would leave the world immediately, add whatever joke it was we were laughing about, and come back going, look, I did a thing. And now he has a hamster ball that rolls around with him because of it.
Yeah. That's great. I love that. That's exactly what VRChat and creating in VRChat is about. You know, ideas and just making them and put them in here. Everyone can see it instantly. You don't have to.
Yeah, but they're
wait for
trying to
something
get
for
it
it
where
to be
they
there.
can pick up the ball and throw me around like a sack of taters. It's not going to be fun. I'm going to shake it and watch me spin in it like a spinning wheel. Whoa, get a little bastard around. Woo, he's going around. Now throw him. Oh, wow. Yeah, great. That'll be where
fun to
I'm
me.
at. Yeah, but you're not
Sounds
on
fun
the
to
other
me.
end of it going, I'm going to die.
Oh, exactly.
I got to be off for, I'll be off for the next 3 days because I just barfed my brains out. No big deal. I got a garbage can close.
So I've had the wonderful pleasure of seeing your show with Raindance Immersive with what you've made there. Wow. How did you prepare for that, and how did you do the world and the music in the show, and how long have you been doing it? Sorry, it's a lot of questions all at once.
Yeah, it's a question I've gotten a lot lately, and I never really find a one for all answer. I started making music like in 2006 or something, way back, digitally only with the, you know, software plugins and all that. Pandemic happened. I got a lot more money because I didn't go out in clubs and bars and whatever, you know. So I figured I'm gonna buy my first hardware synth, and from there I kind of took my music a little bit more seriously. That's I think that's a big turning point. For making concerts and things in VRChat, that's all because of Jean-Michel Jarre. I'm not French. I'm having a very hard time properly pronouncing his name. But he's been around since like my whole life. He's been one of my favorite artists, and he started doing virtual concerts in VRChat. Like he put on full body tracking and all that. It was insane to see. And every time I saw one of his shows, I thought I'm gonna one up that because he has a whole team working on it. I'm alone. I'm gonna one up it anyway. So we had that parasocial kind of battle. I was having a battle with him. He didn't know about me. He probably still don't know about me. Last year in Raindance, we were next to each other on the posters. I'm not sure if he saw me, but I definitely saw him. You know. So no. Yeah, it's always been me trying to one up myself, being inspired and, you know, half challenged by Jarre himself as well. I just love making music and putting my emotions and things in there and just leave it there for later whenever I need them.
So with the Raindance Immersive show you did, was there any messages or anything within that musical show you were trying to express to anyone, or any emotions you wanted people to see?
No, I don't really believe in sending a message through my music, at least. Mainly that's probably because I cannot stand music generally that has like lyrics in them, because then they can only be about what they are singing about. I like instrumental music because they can be whatever I want it to be about, and I can have an impression on it. And I hope that people get the same kind of thing from the music I make, if any. You know, you might just enjoy the sounds, and that's good enough as well. But all of the songs are like based on 2022 or 23. I mean, no, 22. 2022. That's when I mainly made the music for it. So yeah, a lot of things happen. That's why the album is a little bit more aggressive. But you know, I don't try to push that on anyone.
Well, I will say I very much enjoyed the show you produced, from the visuals to the music, even the part where the camera spun around really quickly and showed all the avatars. I thought it was a phenomenal show personally.
Oh yeah. Love that part. It's my favorite.
No, how with some of those features in the world during the show, how long does it take to set up a show like that?
So the world, music, and light show were all built hand in hand of each other, and it took about 6 months total to get all that into one final product. That is now live, by the way. You can just go there and watch it now without me having to be there. There's a motion capture in there now. So yeah, it's 6 months of really, really focused work on coding, music, modeling, and light show programming.
So what initially was what got you started in making shows like that? Like the one you produced this year?
Last year I think was the first time I used the MIDI system in general. And that was literally just me experimenting a way to have things snappier in the world, like snappier with the music happening. So I don't have to rely on a video player and all that, and instead just send everything in real time. So yeah, I think most of the things I'm making here is just me experimenting with things, trying to learn new things. And with both of these two concerts, it's definitely been learning, programming the MIDI, and setting up a system that makes sense for me at least. Probably nobody else if they looked at it. Sad to say, not something I can probably easily share without being hanged on some coder forum somewhere because everything is in graph.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, when most people look and judge other people's work, everyone's going to find something to nitpick. It's just the nature of the beast, I guess one could say.
Oh yeah, but you know, I think of my games and everything I make as a duck that is swimming on the surface of a lake, and you just see gracefully across the lake, but you don't know what's going on underneath the surface. If he's pedaling, or if he's farting along, or if he has a propeller for, feet. Nobody has to know that. As long as it's going smooth on the surface, and then the code can be whatever underneath the surface, I think.
And he's talking about your favorite animal.
Oh, you shut up. I have enough of those stupid things. So, a friend of mine, as a joke for a Christmas gift, sent me the gift packed in 700 tiny rubber ducks. So now in my living room, I have a box filled with little rubber ducks. I don't know what to do with the little things.
Put them in your bathtub if you have one.
700, my God. What are you taking? Duck bath. I can't get in it. There's no water, man. It's just a duck bath. Oh my God. It's that rubberness feeling against your bod you just can't get rid of. They just stick all over you when you get out like a suction. I got one for you. I got one. I ask everybody the same question every time and everything else like this. When you first got into VR for the very first time, right? Wherever you popped to and everything else like this, and you got there and you got there and you go, no, I got to get out of here. No way. What was the weirdest thing you saw in VR that just made you want to go, I got to jump. I got to get out of here?
Wow. What a great question. Honestly, I don't think I have an answer. Whenever I see something fucked up, I just think it's funny. I've seen some, offensive stuff, but I don't want to talk about that. No, I never had anything that was like super weird that I just couldn't stand it without laughing a little bit about it, you know?
Hmm.
I don't think, at least. I can't remember anything like that. Sorry to say.
Oh, it's all
Oh, that's
good.
cool. That's cool.
It's
It's
all
all
good.
great.
Yeah.
It's always interesting to hear some of people's responses to what was the weirdest thing, because at least kind of shows where those individuals' mindsets are a lot of the time. I'm sure if you'd ask that question a year from
Yeah.
now, it would be a different answer. Hmm.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
No, I don't. I think the first time I jumped into VRChat was during the "You Gonna Knuckles" meme going
Oh.
around everywhere.
There we go with the
So-
Knuckles thing. Oh my God! You know how many people bump it? Man, it must have been a popular
That's when most of
situation
us
because
joined.
yeah, because I got into one like that, and he just walked by going, "Wow, the bathroom door must have come out because they just come out of there like droves. What the hell's?" And what was bad is when I saw it, I had to go in to see in the bathroom to see if there was a portal, and they just came out of there. I don't know what the deal is, but they weren't in there when I got there, but now they are, and they come for. Oh, it was nuts. I've never seen so many knuckles come out of the fucking bathroom, and just say,
Yeah.
and then walk around going. And making all these weird noises, and everybody chattering. You're going, "Oh God, look out!
Yeah.
God damn!"
I think.
And then everybody
I think if
started
I
to
wouldn't have
join
known
in.
about it. Oh, sorry. Go for it.
Oh.
Yeah, if they didn't, and what was funny is then they just started going around. And before it was, it was only like 6 or 7 of them in there. Before it was over, the whole room was packed with them. Everybody was running around acting like that.
Mm.
Yeah, see that would be one of those things. If I didn't know about it, that would definitely have me go, I'm out, you know? But since I've seen it on YouTube, and the reason I joined the game was because that looks funny, you know? I experienced it in the world. I was like, yeah, it is funny. I'm gonna stay, you know?
Oh,
I got stupid and joined because it
Yeah.
looked funny. That's
I
why I didn't know
never
nothing
joined them
about it.
myself, but
I didn't know nothing about it, so I just ran around everything else like this. It was pretty funny to watch the whole room. People kept coming in, and they just kept shaking their heads. It was pretty fun.
that's good.
So, what was your first steps in VR chat like? May I ask?
My first steps. Wow.
Nostalgia.
The first thing that I can clearly remember was running around in Sarny Whoop's avatar world. Always running through the maze to try to get to the Nico avatar every time you had to join the game, you know. You'd have to choose your avatar unless you had your own uploaded, which I didn't. And then the strongest memory is probably from when I met a small friend group that I'm still hanging out with today. You know, that was like maybe 3 days in. I meet them, and this is why I'm staying. I thought, like, I want to get to know these people. And man, have I done that. But yeah, like meeting those people that made you stay is probably the fondest memory from back then that I have. And I think everyone that is playing this game, whenever you go to a public world, be that person to the new people. Be that person who they want to come back and talk with and enjoy and hang out with. Because it's so easy to hate on the gray robots, you know? Getting me there, you know?
Yeah,
The more the merrier.
It's a very common thing to dislike the newbies, and I feel like a lot of people who've been in VR chat a while kind of have a disdain for public worlds.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Especially lately. But you know, even the most annoying people can build the future for this game for the better. You know, they just got to get over that first hill of being loud and obnoxious, and then they will be chill. I think, at least.
Yeah, well, that moment when they meet their friend group, like the one you've met and been friends with.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So with your, since it sounds like you've been in music since, this is a hard segue. I do apologize. Since you said you've been in music since the early 2000s to what you're doing now. What was it like in the beginning versus and now when you're in VR? What are your thoughts on the differences between the two?
Oh, back then I did it only for my own ears. and only for my own feelings and emotions. Mainly because I was talking with therapists at the time. I shouldn't do that. They were proper therapists. But they told me to take my emotions and put them into some kind of craft, some kind of art. They didn't say music or painting or whatever. They just said something. And I've always been in like playing piano and making music in that sense. So I just started doing that. Whatever I felt like, put it there, put it away, and I still do that today. So that part haven't changed. The only thing that have changed is more the knowledge in mixing and mastering, getting everything together. But if I listen to music I made back then, I'm bopping my head still. Just as I'm bopping to the music I make today. It's still mine and it's very close to me. Would I share it though to anyone? Probably not. It's really basic.
Well, to be honest, a lot of the time, some of the art that one makes himself is usually your own harsh critic on that. Remember hearing a story of H.P. Lovecraft's work. Like one of his most well known, which is The Shadow of Innsmouth, he loathed. He didn't want anyone to know. Once he passed and his family published it, everyone loved it. So with that said, you may find it to be basic or cringy. Other people out there may enjoy it.
Probably. But they have things now that I am sharing.
Fair.
For a long time, I have a friend who works at Spotify, and he was like, "You should put your things on Spotify." Wow. And I was like, "It's not. It doesn't sound like it belongs there yet. Like, being your own critic, because it doesn't, right? it doesn't belong there. Your servers doesn't have to be a dust collector. But now, I'm going for it. So I'm keeping it up there now.
Oh wow. So what was the first album you made public to people, or music you made public to people?
It was probably around 2010 I started uploading to SoundCloud. Some of those I had to get rid of because SoundCloud only allowed you to upload so many songs or so many minutes or something. I can't remember which song it is, but there are a few songs on my SoundCloud that are very, very old. That are okay, that I won't remove out of shame. They're okay.
So
don't like that one. You don't have that, the thing that makes you want to go, oh God, I got to go to the bathroom. It made me vibe so bad. I got to pee.
So what is it you wish to see out of your own work before you think it's worthy of going on places like Spotify or of that?
I think when I listen to my music in a mixed playlist with other artists' music that I like, and my music didn't sound completely off, then I started to feel a little bit more, okay, yeah, now I can probably start sharing this because I'm not that far off, So yeah, your own biggest critic, it's true.
Yeah.
Every single second you listen to, be like, like that. But also, you have to finish your project sometimes, so just go for it.
So, in this whole process of when you started to are now, what have been some of the biggest things you've learned along the way?
Don't use too much bass in your final mix. And that's probably because I was at a Prodigy concert when I was younger, and I dumped the bass frequencies in one of my ears, so I have a little bit of hearing damage. So all my music always had a little bit too much bass, and they still probably do sometimes, but I'm trying to think of that mostly, because as soon as you get rid of that, the rest sounds better because it doesn't, overwhelm the rest of the music.
So when you're mixing your stuff and trying to make sure the bass is perfect and the treble all matches to where you wish, what do you look for in the flow of the music to make it where you think it sounds good?
I try to make it so if I listen to it on different devices, on my phone, in my car, on my hi-fi speakers, on my friends' speakers, and if it sounds good on all of them, kind of good, then I know that I'm almost there. I always hear something that I need to fix when I get back home again. So that's the biggest process. Like listen to it on as many devices as you can, and then you will eventually find a good sweet spot for everything.
And how long does it take you to find that sweet spot and when you decide that something is finished?
When I want to start on the next song.
So where do you drive a lot of your inspirations for your music from? Like what inspires you?
As I mentioned, Prodigy, huge inspiration. Pendulum, Jean-Michel Jarre. Kraftwerk, massive inspiration. And then basically anything I have so much like electronic music just on playlists all over the place. So all of that gets inspired and gives me ideas and things like that. But mainly Prodigy, I would say.
Prodigy?
Yeah.
Okay. What was the first song that made from them that made you want decide that this is what I like?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Probably Break and Enter. Break and Enter from Music for the Jilted Generation. And funny enough, that was a song they were playing in the Laserdome Arena when I was a kid as well.
Oh,
Just
really?
happened to be that. Yeah.
So what was Laserdome like in real life that when you played? I've never been. The real life version anyway.
So the one I went to, this is way back, like 2002, 2003, maybe. I'm an old fart, by the way. Back then, it was, if you ever played the first version of Laserdome, as close to that as possible. Like the rate of firing, the one hit kills you or takes you out. The arena had the same kind of layout and look to it. All of it was as close as possible that I could make with what I had on my hands, you know. But yeah, it was just high energy, long nights, just having fun. Yeah.
Whoa. How long did it take you to match it to what you remember?
Oh, I don't think I'm fully there yet. But yeah, no, good question.
Yeah.
I don't think I am there yet. Like I have a vision for Laserdome that I've always had, and I don't think I can reach that fully in the boundaries of VRChat servers and all that. But you know, it's very very close enough that I'm happy with it. And sometimes you just have to sacrifice that.
Okay.
Have things here.
So when you play Laserdome, does it give you any sense of nostalgia from when you used to play it as a kid?
Oh yeah, all the time. You know, the fog in there, the fog machine smoke smell, always hitting me. No, it does a lot. Like it's all about having fun, and we do have fun in there a lot.
Okay. So what was your first show you did or saw in VRChat?
Oh, that is probably the first Jean-Michel Jarre concert he did, 2019, end of 2019, I think he did one. That was amazing. He had like shaders for a skybox and everything was super cool. And then you know that was also at the time where a lot of these particle performance worlds starting to pop up. I was at a lot of them, music visualizers.
Mm.
Do you ever remember the star wand? Where you had like a wand and you can like move the particles in the sky and like throw them around
Yeah,
like that.
I remember that one.
That was a performance to me. If you went in there with some music in your ears and you just played around with the music you were listening to.
Mm.
Uh, yeah,
Okay.
good worlds.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite music worlds that you've seen? Things like the Star one you just mentioned.
Mm. I think just in general the club worlds. My absolute favorite one in club worlds, at least for like setting atmosphere and visuals on the screen, is one that I went to when I can't remember what I had been, but I came home pretty drunk after some night out or something. And I just went into Vrchat and someone was in this one. I was like, yeah, I'll join it. Go in there and I instantly hear the beautiful sound of breakbeats music.
Mm.
You know, fast hitting aim and breaks, crazy things. Go into the club floor and it's so foggy. Everyone's like voices are turned down. You can't hear anyone, and the screen is just blasting visuals at you. And I was in, this is my space. Like I
Mm.
just lay down on the floor, space calibrated up, so I was standing up in the world, but I was laying there on my rug, like, yeah, this is the shit. And the next show I played in there myself. I DJed myself there for an hour. That club's closed down because of drama
Ah.
after a few months after that, but I think they're coming back with something bigger soon.
Hmm.
But that's definitely my top of the line where they allow that kind of freaky experimental music to just blast. Love
Hmm.
that.
Hmm. So, how long have you been DJing, may I ask, and what kind of clubs that you've been in or played for stuck with you?
Oh, I've been DJing since oh, tracking. Been DJing since 2012, 10, I want to say, somewhere around there. I started DJing for a web radio for EVE Online called what were they called? Right now they called the gaming network radio or something, but back then they were called, what was it? Was it just EVE Radio? I think it was.
Hmm.
I started doing that and I did the electro swing. That was like when the electro swing movement happened.
Hmm.
And then a club opened up in Gothenburg where I live, where they also played electro swing. And I went to the owners and was like, dude, I've been DJing online for like a year with this kind of music. I can play here next week for free. Just let me.
Hmm.
And he was like, okay, sure. And then after that, they always called me, hey, we're doing another DJ night. You want to come? And I was like, yeah, yeah, of course. Always went over. And then I moved to Scotland and I have to stop because I couldn't fly over for a stupid DJ gig there. But that's when I started. And then, I left it lying for a while and then it came back again in VRChat. And now I'm pretty much going to. I try to go to every second placeholder club world and
Hmm.
just DJ there for fun for 30 minutes. It's a good break in between all the other projects I do to just do music for once.
Hmm.
Other people's music, I should say.
Hmm. Have you played any other than that club? Have you ever done any other live shows with your music or DJing?
Not other than the concerts, the three ones I have now.
Hmm.
But that's like once a year that I try to at least make one. Don't know.
Hmm. Do you have any plans to do any like live performances?
Yeah, I'm having one that is going to be in real life for the first one actually making music.
Hmm.
It's going to be at NFC in Sweden, probably. It's not set in stone yet. They're
Hmm.
planning a lot of things. But I have already started like practicing,
Hmm.
like an hour a day, just practicing on these three synths that I have decided that these are the ones I'm going to bring with me to keep it simple, keep it manageable.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm extremely nervous about that, but it's going to be fun either way. If I fuck it up, it's going to be fun, you
Hmm.
know?
Hmm. So, what are your thoughts on playing live for people after doing it in VR for the length of time you've been doing?
It's fun.
Hmm.
I like it. It takes a lot of stage, fear to get over. But in VR, I feel it's a lot easier than doing in an actual club.
Hmm.
Because in VR, you have this avatar that you're puppeteering. It's not really you. It's a different version of you, an alternate version, which yeah, it's easier.
It's
You have
easier.
a mask to hide behind.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So when you're in VR doing your live shows, what is it like from your side looking out at people watching you perform?
Oh, it's so fun. You know.
Mm.
For most of the DJ sets I do and the concerts I do as well, most of it in DJ World land, all of it is like pre-recorded. You record it 1 week earlier, you send the video and everything in so that they can put it into the show. For the concerts I done, it's all prepared to the minute, and I would only have to trigger a few things while I'm doing it live. But for the CMOS one, the one that I talked about, my favorite one, the DJ there or the owner there was like, no, everything, your visuals, your music, everything has to be done live on the spot from your living room. So you won't see anyone in the world. You can have your headset on your head, but you're not looking through it because you're going to be DJing for 1 hour constantly, not knowing anything what's going on inside the virtual world. And that's so much more fun because it's a challenge, right? You don't know what's happening, but more of your feeling what should happen in the music gets put into it instead of listening to a crowd, to what they are thinking. As you do in real life, for example, you can read the crowd what they want a little bit.
How do you prepare for something like that, DJing live in VR? What does it take to do?
Oh, dude, I was so nervous all of those times. What is it? It takes, you have to sit for a month and just listen to new music, buy new music, see what sticks with each other, and then have a playlist of at least double the time. Because you're gonna be cutting in the middle of the songs and mixing them together, and the last thing you want is to run out of music because then you're screwed, right? But then it's just whatever. Only you can hear if you fuck something up. The others will be like, "Oh, that was a interesting transition between those two songs. I like that." And in your head, you go, "Oh my god, that was awful." But as long as you don't say that, nobody knows.
So in the process of doing these things, how long did it take you to learn that, what you just shared with us? Like no one else hears it but you.
Oh, that's I think that came from my mom when I was younger, when I did the piano things, because I used to play a lot of piano then. And whenever I played something wrong, I stopped and was like restarting. And my mom said, "Why did you stop?" "I played wrong." "Did you?" "Yeah, I played wrong. That note was wrong." "I didn't hear that. You should continue. Don't worry. Only you hear it," she told me. And that just stuck with me. Because in the end, most of the time, only you know. And I love bashing on jazz music because if you play wrong a lot of time in a row, then you're playing jazz. That's what I think, at least.
Yeah. Oh, well, I haven't listened to enough jazz to know. I'm one of those people that likes hardcore
Neither have
hardstyle
I,
and metal.
because I think they play. Yeah, I can't stand jazz. It's very hard for me to listen to because it's so wild and out there and everything. And somehow they define it as good music that is perfect and on the top level. But just because you can play that fast on the saxophone doesn't mean it sounds good.
Well, to be fair on jazz's part, what people like in music is very subjective. What one may sound good, the other may think is noise.
100%. 100%. Yeah, I agree.
So, what kind of genres do you generally listen to or try to emulate?
I listen to a lot of drum and bass, at least lately. Break beats, anything with a name and break in it, and I'm hooked. I can listen to it for hours. Techno, just deep thumping techno, love that shit. Sometimes, I have my moments where I dwell into a completely unexplored genre for myself, like mumble rap, for example.
Oh no!
And listen, there was a lot of garbage to dig through, but that 2% of music that I found that is in my playlist is pure gold to my ears. Because it's just amazing.
Well, I give you big kudos for enjoying mumble rap. It's noise to me.
It is to me as well, like the 98% of it. But the cool thing about mumble rap, and I'm gonna stand it right now, is that they are not singing, right? That's the whole point. They're not doing words. But your brain is interpreting what they're singing about. So the song can be about whatever you feel like it's about, and that's what music is to me. And that's why I found it so interesting. So the 2% are the things that I could clearly hear what they were singing, but they are still going, they're not saying anything, really. But it's cool. But that's a playlist I would never share with anyone.
Hey, well,
that's a very private playlist.
As long as you enjoy the music, that's all that really matters at the end. Who cares what I think?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, exactly.
So, what kind of music pulls you in? Like, what kind? Like, I guess I'm not sure how else to
Pulls
word.
me in.
What kind of music do you find yourself losing yourself to? There we go. There's a better words to it.
Oh, liquid drum and bass. Liquid drum and bass. Every time it's just soft piano and drum and bass on top of it, and a female vocalist mostly. Perfect. That's what I'm listening to when I'm like going home from work, especially if I do the electric longboard ride home. Just have liquid drum and bass and you fly across the streets. It's so fitting. That's therapy to me.
Oh, really?
But hardstyle can also do that for me. Big epic riffs, loud sounding or big stage sounding music. Yeah. When it comes to like sitting down and coding for a long time, techno. Just 4 on the floor, baby. Just keep going.
What about techno helps you code, may I ask?
It's just that it's so... Well, if it's the correct kind of techno, the minimal kind of one, that doesn't catch your attention all the time. It doesn't drag you in all the time like pop music does. It's like, verse, hook, chorus, hook again, and hook, and get listen to the song, listen to the music. No, I'm working. I don't want to listen to the music. But techno is just like, oh, what happened there? The kick drum disappeared. Oh, now it's back again. Okay, good. That's the biggest thing that happens.
So, what got you started in coding?
Udon, Vrchat.
Udon, Vrchat?
Like, I've never touched code before. Before Udon was released, I've never touched code. Like, not a single line.
Well,
so, yeah.
From exploring a lot of your work, I would have never been able to tell.
It's a lot of dedication. That's what it is, A lot of people say that, and I want to inspire people to get into it as well. Just take 1 hour each day and just do it, Well, like, the worst thing that happens is that you quit. But you still learn something,
So, what kinds of things did you do to get started to learn? And how long did it take for you to reach the point where you thought you were decent?
Oh, I still don't feel that I'm decent because I'm still not coding. I'm still doing graph. But to get started, I think I just, like, Udon was completely new, right? Nobody knew how it worked, really. So there was a lot of questions on the forums, on the Vrchat Discord, and I was just lurking, reading what problems other people had, and especially what their solution were, and I tried to recreate that and learn that way through others. So that's, I think, would be a lot easier to get into nowadays. Maybe not. Maybe there are too many options to like find information now. I don't know. It's up to the individual, but for me, it was just observing, listening and observing, and then try to make a laser tag game.
So Laserdome was your first attempt. Was that your first attempt in Udon?
Yeah, that was when the Udon dropped. I was like, right, now is the time to make a laser tag. And I remember just trying to get the two-handed weapon to work took me so incredibly long. Yeah. It was fun though.
I bet it was. When you were learning code, how did you get over that like learning, like for example, getting the gun attached to two hands and a lot of your issues? What did you do to get over a lot of your hurdles?
Just bash my head against the screen, try new things. Like brute force it. Like I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea what the nodes were doing. For me, they were just nodes, and if something has the same color, they probably can't connect. What happens if I do this? Press play. That's not right. Do another way. That's trial and error. That was like still actually a lot of trial and error, especially when it comes to like mathy problems. God, I'm awful at math.
Oh,
Just what if I divide it here maybe by 5? Let's see what happens. 8. Yeah, that looks good enough. But I don't know what it's actually doing, you know.
Well, I give big props to coders of any sort, whether it's Udon graphing, C#. When I look at it, it's like looking at hieroglyphs, trying to understand what's going on. Only coding I've ever had involved is some basic HTML back in high school, and it's still like trying to decipher ancient texts.
Yeah. I know what you mean. And people come to me with, when I ask for something, they send me real code, sharp code. I have no idea how to interpret that. Like that's you can't do that to me. I don't understand anything.
I can very much imagine how you feel. Is a lot of times like back in the HTML days, back when I was in vocational school in high school. Some of my friends would make amazing websites with HTML and JavaScript. Like, Lion, go take a look. It's like, what? This is magic. What kind of wizard are you here?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I've always considered coders and people like do what you do just to be like techno wizards. Beyond my knowledge, this is just magic.
I have people who I look up to in the same sense, so I respect that. There's always, the bigger fish. Have to keep trying to catch them.
Well, when you're trying to get better at things, regardless of what it is, music, coding, world building, maybe it's a skill in the outside world, like learning to plumber, what say you, always having that next step to progress, the next thing to reach generally will help you. It helps in the learning process. It doesn't feel like you're stagnant, I guess.
Exactly, yeah. Aiming for small, achievable goals is the way forward. Don't focusing on something that is on the horizon and get tunnel vision for it, because then you will miss everything that is in your periphery in that kind of metaphor, right? You have to walk the small goalposts, and if there is a cat over there, go and pet it. Damn it! Don't miss the cat. And that's the small thing on the sides that you sometimes miss when you have a goal too far in the future.
Speaking of goals, what have been some goals that you're proud of achieving?
Oh, that's a hard question. I don't know. Honestly, the goals I'm reaching, I always set a new one for me. But the Raindance award that I got is something that is still like I'm still processing it. They told me the other day that they're sending me a physical trophy for this award, and I think something will happen in me when I see that. I think then it would change a little bit for me what I think of it. I'm not sure for the better or worse yet, but That would definitely be a goal that I would be like looking back towards a lot, I think. Definitely. Otherwise, every successful Laserdome tournament we do is also a goal for me. It's an achievement by itself, a reward, if you say so.
Well, congratulations on the Raindance Award, by the way. You very much so deserve it.
Thank you very much.
It was an amazing performance.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank
you.
I very much enjoyed watching your show personally. I'm glad I went to see it. It blew my mind, to be honest.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah, I'm always missing the good shit. It always sucks. I always miss the damn things. Well, I'm always short too, but I miss a lot more than you.
The good thing, Raptor, is that it's public now, and there's like a full body mocap of me in there. You can just go there, and it will look like I'm there, but I'm not. But I am there.
So if I start talking to you, people won't think I'm out of my. Well, what they already think I'm out of my cord. No problem. That'll work. I can talk to you.
It could be fun.
Biggie.
It could be fun to try to talk with me there.
Yeah, trying to get an answer out of you, you're always going to win. No matter what it is.
It'd be like watching that one drunk guy over in the bar district trying to talk to a signpost.
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah, I could have seen that before. Yeah.
How you mentioned you do mocap for the world. How do you do the motion capture?
Oh, I can't remember the name of it. Is it shader motion? It's like you put it, either you go to a world and you hit record there and you film your Vrchat window and you get pixels on the side with information on them, or you put it on your avatar and you go to whatever world and just hit start and it starts showing the pixels. You record that video, take that video out and put it into a website and hit record there, and then you get an animation file out of it that you can then put back into your project. It's a long process of things. I think it's called shade motion. I don't want to. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's shade motion.
Also, I remember before. I'll ask you more questions on that. But if you ever have to do your show that you said beforehand, just let me know to cut it and we'll cut it. Otherwise, I'm going to keep on asking you questions nonstop.
Yeah, go for it.
How did you learn about chain motion with your motion capture? Because that's a really cool thing to see in a world, mind you. I enjoy seeing it. I think it's sick.
Yeah, I looked for a solution for it when when I started working on this year's concert. I wanted to get my old one up there and like have it standalone as well. And first I did like a hand animation for me that just looped every 1 minute or so. And then I think it was Vrchat who said shader motion is the thing. Vrchat is one of the moderators in Laserdome. And very knowledgeable in like so many things. And they said shader motion works. Put that on your avatar and then it would work. Otherwise I would never find it myself, probably. But they solve a lot of things for me.
How long did it take you to learn to use that program and incorporate it into your own worlds?
Oh, not long at all. Like literally you take an avatar and you put the prefab on it. And a little bit of a activation thing on the whatever it's called, the wheel on your avatar, right? The trigger wheel. And then you just record. And then you get animation file just straight into the world, and as soon as you plop that in there, it's working.
Like, oh wow.
That's all it takes.
Wow. The amount of things I see people use like you in shader motion, I'm always impressed by the amount of creativity that people have here. I saw every new world I go to, every new thing I see, I'm just mind blown. Like, for example, in your world where you get to watch you with the motion capture perform in a pre-recording. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. Shader motion was designed in the beginning to actually be like there will be one world where the club happens, right? And the DJ would have shader motion activated, and that shader motion would then go to the stream that gets posted into the other instances. And those
Oh.
instances would read the shader motion and put that on a model in that world, so that they would stream the movement of the DJ from one world to another. That was the original intent of it, I think, and then it just became a motion capture thing as well, when you got the record it into an animation file instead.
You know, you mentioned that kind of reminds me of something some people from Altspace were using. Like I was talking with some people how they would do similar things over in Altspace, and having the multi-instanced program running. I don't know. It just reminded me of things they were telling me. I think it's pretty cool. I had no idea those things existed here in VRChat. That's dope.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I've never seen it work with my own eyes over different instances like that. But in theory, it should just work. You know, it should be fine.
Like Just Work or Fallout 4 Just Work.
Kinda just work, I think.
You know, I thought I remember hearing the virtual reality show has something like that in the works. Think.
Probably.
Probably.
I think there is so much stuff underneath the hood that we don't know about yet, that people have been working on for so long time now. That's gonna be popping up in the following months, years. That is gonna be blowing our minds off. I'm very excited for that.
Same. I swear this year I saw so many more new and amazing things happen, and I can only imagine next year, like when they start rolling out the newer game engines, what other awesome things we'll get to see.
Right. It's gonna be crazy.
Indeed. Well, thank you very much for joining us, XCirrex. It's been an absolute pleasure getting to meet and speak with you. Where can people find you?
I enjoy it. People can find me on the X or Blue Sky, or those are the two I'm generally using nowadays. I'm called XCirrex there as well, at XCirrex. They can also, if they want to join my Discord, the link is discord.gg/Cirrex Media. Don't put the link anywhere because I have enough bots joining it anyway. You can put it as text on the video, but don't physically put it on as a text that someone can just scrape off the internet and join. And if you want to not get it through there, you can also find it in all of my worlds. I have the link written out there. And I also have the VRChat group, which is XCirrex Media as well.
Okay. Alrighty, Raptor. Close us out.
No problem. Like XCirrex says, and everything else like this, it don't matter how old you are, you can teach. You can treat the dog. You can teach the dog new tricks no matter what you want to do. But you just got to figure out how to feed it properly. So when you have that opportunity, feed it. Don't. You know what I mean? We'll talk to you later. Bye, folks.